we had the moment we've all been waiting for. Shadur Sanders finally got to start an NFL game. The entire world wants to know what Mel Kiper thought. It is no secret, Mel. You were a believer in Shadur. You never stopped feeling that way. Now he is 1-0, the first Cleveland Browns quarterback to start 1-0 in this millennium. What was your reaction, first and foremost?
We just witnessed the moment we've all been waiting for. Shadur Sanders finally got his NFL start, and the entire football world wants to know one thing. What did Mel Kiper think? So, what was your reaction? This is the story of a prophecy, a warning from ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr., a voice that has defined the NFL draft for decades. In draft rooms and on fan forums, he made a declaration that shook the core of the entire evaluation process. He didn't just like Shadur Sanders. He declared him the best quarterback in his entire class. He said any team that passed on him was making a catastrophic mistake. He put his entire reputation on the line. The league was warned. They were skeptical. They passed. And now, we have the evidence. Shadur Sanders' debut wasn't just a game, it was vindication. Sanders didn't just win, he snapped a decades-long curse for Browns rookie quarterbacks. On that field, we saw everything Kiper championed from the beginning: the poise, the precision, the surgical accuracy. I'm happy for him, for the Cleveland Browns, and obviously the defense. Look, football is simple. It comes down to three things: blocking, tackling, and concentration. BTC. And in this game, they couldn't block Myles Garrett. You can't win if you can't block him. But for Shadur, look at the operations. For a young quarterback, that's everything. You see other rookies running around, clapping, the play clock ticking down. They have to burn timeouts. They look confused. They look like a deer in headlights. I never saw that with Sanders. I didn't see it against Baltimore when he was getting pummeled. That poise, that confidence, it comes from playing big games in college. It prepared him for this. This is the story of a high-stakes warning, ignored, and then proven spectacularly right. Rewind to the chaotic draft season. While other quarterbacks got the hype, Mel Kiper stood almost alone on his hill for Shadur Sanders. He was unwavering. And the pressure for Sanders' first start was immense. He was handed a struggling team mid-season. But what stood out wasn't just one flashy play. It was the quiet command, the mastery of the little things Kiper said would translate.
Happy for him, for the Cleveland Browns, and obviously the defense. Myles Garrett's ready to set the NFL record. They couldn't block him. There's three things. You talk about, in baseball, what did they say at Bull Durham? You remember, Crinny. What do you throw the ball? Yeah, hit the ball, you catch the ball and all that. And in football, it's really very simple, right? It's BTC, blocking, tackling, and concentration. That's what I say, blocking, tackling, and concentration. And to me, when you think about this game, they couldn't block him. You can't beat him if you can't block him. But in terms of Shadur, the operations for a young quarterback, when you see quarterbacks running up, clapping, and then the time's ticking down, and you got to delay a game, or you got to take a timeout, or you end up the game with one timeout left or no timeouts left because the operations weren't good. And he looks a little confused out there. He looks like a deer in headlights. I never saw that. I didn't see it against Baltimore when he was getting hit, or the whole second half. So I think the poise, the confidence by playing in a lot of games in college, both at Jackson State and at
Mel, it's no secret. You were a believer in Shadur. You never wavered. And now he's 1-0, the first Cleveland Browns quarterback to win his first start in nearly 30 years. And then the accuracy, the one trait Kiper hammered home from day one. We talk about accuracy with him. That was the thing. He's so accurate, he can be a surgeon. If you just give him a fortress in front of him, give him some time, he can be a surgeon. Look at the plays he made downfield. And on the one sack he took, he scrambled, he fought, and he turned a potential 10-yard loss into just 2. That's situational awareness. That's a winning play. He got the ball out. He showed touch. When he had to let it rip, he did. Yeah, he threw a pick. It happens. Baker Mayfield threw a bad pick that cost them a game. Rookies make mistakes. You have to make them to learn. He'll have uneven performances. That's the nature of being a rookie who never practiced with the ones. But here's the bottom line. I feel good because everything I see with him, he looked like an NFL starting quarterback. And that is the most important thing you can say. But in the middle of this celebration, there was a frustrating misstep. In the locker room after a historic win, the head coach had a chance to crown the moment, to hand the game ball to his rookie quarterback who just broke a 30-year drought. He didn't. He gave it to Myles Garrett. Now, Garrett is a superstar, and his 10 sacks were legendary. But this was a mistake, a massive error in judgment. A massive error in judgment. This was a chance to galvanize the entire franchise around its new leader, and they missed it. Let that sink in. Shadur Sanders did something no Browns quarterback has done since 1995. The significance of that is staggering. So, where do we go from here? The message from Shadur Sanders' sensational debut is clear. The future of this franchise has been completely reimagined. Mel Kiper's warning, once ignored, is now the undeniable truth. Sanders is poised, accurate, and a natural leader. Now, the organization has a 2-step job. First, they must commit, fully and completely, to Shadur Sanders. No more looking elsewhere. No more quarterback controversies. He is the franchise quarterback. Second, they must build. They need to get him dynamic weapons at receiver, and they must invest heavily in that fortress, the offensive line, to protect their most valuable asset. And perhaps most urgently, they need to fix the coaching philosophy. Sanders needs a staff that believes in him unconditionally, a system tailored to his strengths, an environment built for a championship. The prophecy was right. The quarterback is here. Now, the Browns have to be smart enough not to waste him.
And certainly, I think when you think about the plays that he made down the field, we talk about accuracy with him. That was the thing with him. He's so accurate. He can be a surgeon. If you just give him a fortress in front of him, give him some time, he can be a surgeon. And some of the throws he made, and he only had the 1 sack where he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't an 8, 9, 10-yard loss. It was, 2 yards, and he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. He got the ball out. He showed touch. When he had to let it rip, he did. He had the one bad throw when the linebacker sunk in the hook zone, and he picked it off. Okay, that happens. Baker had a bad pick against the Bills and turned that game a couple weeks ago. It all happens. They're going to learn from mistakes. In order to get better, you got to make mistakes. And you learn from those mistakes. And he'll keep making them. And he's going to have uneven performances. He'll have some good, bad, and ugly. That's just the nature of being a rookie quarterback in this league who never played with the ones, right? But I think for Shadur, I feel good because everything I see with him, he looked like an NFL starting quarterback. And I think that's the most important thing you can say about a rookie in this league.
The validation is complete. The tape doesn't lie. Mel Kiper's prophecy wasn't just a hot take. It was a blueprint. And now the entire league is on notice. The Cleveland Browns are no longer just a defensive story. The narrative has changed. They have their quarterback. So now the spotlight shifts. It's no longer on the rookie. The pressure is no longer on Shadur Sanders. The pressure is now squarely on this organization, on Kevin Stefanski, on the front office. Do they have the courage to see this through? When the inevitable growing pains come, will they stay the course? Or will they revert to the same old tired habits that have held this franchise back for a generation? The answer to that question will define the Cleveland Browns for the next decade. The prophecy was right. The quarterback is here. Now it's your turn, Cleveland. Your move. The future is watching. So, what do you think? Did the Browns finally find their guy? Or is this just another false dawn? Sound off in the comments below.
I never go into anything overconfident, where it's a game. My high school Calvert Hall, when we were winning championship, I didn't go into any of those games like, oh, we're going to win this game, or I go in nervous about every game and about every player I like. I will never. Josh Allen, same way. Never going to ever do. Never will you ever see me do a victory lap. I always consider myself, and Green knows this, I consider myself a defense attorney for a lot of young players who are unfairly criticized. So yeah. I always tell Green out in draft day, it's like, that's what you feel like, a defense attorney, because you get all this craziness thrust upon these players, and a lot of it's just.
And if you believe this team just changed forever, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.